I'll make this insulated because I've seen the hood get charged a little too often for my taste. Yeah, there we go. Health isn't doing so good, and I've got repair putty to spare, so, you know, I might as well just top that off too. I mean, the mid zone is the mid zone. Maybe I could say scratch off all the outer zone locations that I haven't done yet. Which of these are the worst? There we go. How about the trunk? Ooh, yeah, the trunk needs it. The rest of them I'm not so sure about. This off-road tire, yeah, I am gonna have to repair it. And the other off-road tire? So what's got the health of my car so down? Oh, the impulse emitter. Is that it? Oh, well, maybe if I patch this panel up. Well, it seems to have helped. The rest of my repair. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Alright, what am I missing? I've got a battery jumper. I've got nutrition's kit. Yeah, I've been using those to fix quirks. Oops, wait. But I had another one lying around here, which I'm going to store over there. A couple of these first aid kits, which I'm almost positive yeah, I do have one of them in here. I really ought to consolidate these. Then mechanics kits and bulb replacement kits. That's it. Replacement kits. Did I really just drop them? That's weird. Alright, so I'm gonna burn out this scrapper here. Just for the sake of having the dumpster's scrapper. Okay, I guess this helps. Let me see if I can research anything else, more blueprints. No, nothing. I think everything that I needs either corrupt energy or more stuff. Yeah, sorry, unstable energy. Corrupt energy is completely different. This, more lockers. Yeah, I noticed that. Advanced workbench. Yeah, my next foray into the mid zone is going to... I'm going to need enough limb energy, unstable energy, to get that. But I'm also going to need 4 steel sheets, so I'll prepare those just in case I don't get any on my next trip. Of course, all that depends on how quickly I can get to the mid-zone. I mean, I hate to have to go through the wall again, but I suppose you do what you gotta do. Alright, let's see what we've learned here. First off, this drive. My car actually took some poison damage. I drove a lot, I walked about a third of that. The storm lasted 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and boy is that... Actually no, I think that's slightly less than the last time I was bushwhacked by a gateway. 45 seconds driving uphill, 19 seconds airborne. Glad I fixed that one quirk though. I was starting to get on my nerves, but there's probably others that get on my nerves even worse. Alright. Let's talk about the stuff we picked up, about the theories. Number 2 of, 7, I think. Listen, between you and me, ARDA is actually a cover-up. Look at that acronym. ARDA backwards is ADRA. That stands for the American Diamond Replication Association. We ever heard that before? It was mentioned in the 1949 Taylor broadcast before it was suddenly cut off by, quote, bad weather, unquote, when government assassins finally caught up with him and humped him off for revealing the truth. America has been using the Olympic exclusion zone as a secret facility to manufacture diamonds. Gold, too. They use gold as a secure basis for the dollar, while diamonds are both insanely valuable and yet also extremely easy to transport, even smuggle. It's all obvious, really. I don't have to explain myself further. Do your research. Sent by RF. Well, I hate to tell RF this, but that idea is absolute baloney. After all, if you can manufacture diamonds, then they crater in value. Same goes for gold. It's all about the scarcity of the resource. Let's talk lab reports, number 6 out of 6. I need your help. Read through the data. Look at the numbers. I've checked every equation, every result. The batteries were consistent. The quality of the materials was pure. And yet, nothing on paper could really truly explain the disparity in the results. The fact is, the materials in Chamber A were exposed for longer than those in Chamber B, despite the experiment running for the same exact amount of time. Please, I beg you, I'm at my wit's end. Help me find an explanation. And hurry, we've already deployed a dozen setups like this. They're already running out in the field. I fear if we don't get ahead of this, it's going to be bad. Paints, actually no, strike that. Steering wheels, like the one I just outfitted the car with. Yeah, it's one of those ones that's like a chain. I don't think I've seen them in person before, but I do know of them. They are, I think, a real-life thing. That's a decal. And what do we got but still a bunch more stuff to find, but blown out. Yep, we saw that. That's what I get for driving on the railroad tracks. Hopefully I won't have to do that again. Hint. And a trunk. In the trunk. 250 years after winning their independence, Americans nationwide are enjoying bigger trunks than ever before. The trunk of one American car can easily fit 6 British vehicles. Ha. Now we've got the giant orb that we scanned. What the... Wait a second, that's a resource? I can scrap that thing? Okay, didn't know that. Partial memo, source unknown, circa 1971. I'd estimate it's been some 10 to 12 months now, maybe more. I'd hope the passage of seasons would serve as at least some broad frame of reference, but that doesn't seem to happen here anymore. The climate is largely constant, while the weather is subject to these sudden swings that are impossible to predict. Storms appear out of nowhere. Rain is sometimes spontaneous. The sky is clear quite suddenly, though never enough that I can get a good look at the stars. However, my compass still seems to be working at least most of the time. The moon, however, that's something else. I can usually make it out, but something is different. Something is changing. I can't tell if it's some local atmospheric change here or But to suggest anything beyond that is ridiculous. Why would the moon have changed? And on the subject of strange orbs, those static glowing spheres have been changing color again. They're now a curious shade of orange, or burnt sienna. That seems to be their most static color yet, and I wonder if this signals some state of maturity. We'll see. They seem to be somehow guarding those strange nests of, giant frog spawn. No, I shouldn't say guarding, because that implies intelligence, but they're often nearby. I found a new cache of food last night, and I have nothing but time, so I shall contemplate these orbs. The unstable anchor. This anchor has clearly suffered a great deal of damage and degradation. That or perhaps it experienced some kind of overload or imbalance. It may not be wise to touch this, or take it away, or keep it, and you're a wise person, right? Yeah, I know when I need unstable energy, and I really do need it. And this is a database, the one I sent to Tobias and Francis via the Numa tube. I don't know how, but I just put it in there. And all of a sudden it's there. The Cough Box. Telephone transcript central exchange monitoring, February 21st, 1967. It's difficult, you know. I mean, what do you tell a guy's mom? Do you say, sorry, Mrs. Baker, your son's just a glob of goo now? Do you say, it wasn't an entirely meaningless death, those scientists probably got some data from it? Do you say, I saw him dissolve right in front of my eyes, but a lot of his clothing is still okay, here's his superhero shorts. He just ran into the thing. It was so pointless, I feel bad for her. They're asking why it won't be an open casket. For Christ's sake, you could pour him into a jar. You might as well pump him into the coffin. Sad? No, I saw worse things in the war, and they happened to people I cared about a lot more. This guy was a jerk. So I want to see that new Poitier movie? That guy's slick. Wait a minute. 1967, I think that was, In the Heat of the Night. But don't quote me on it. Probably, if I'm wrong, I'm close. And this thing, the Salamander Grotto, somehow I scanned this. Partial memory, source unknown, circa 1971. Again, you know, it's almost like frog spawn. The thing is, I don't see any signs of it growing and changing. I've now discovered a dozen such collection of these egg-like things, and sure, they must be organic, but I have a little more to go on than that. Do they function like eggs and provide some form of incubation and safety? How are they sustained? And if all or even some of that is the case, what is growing in here? Growing or waiting? They're curiously warm in a fashion quite unlike anything else I've ever come across. It's almost calming. I see nothing tending to these, nor any evidence of what might have first deposited them. The only connection I can find is that those gigantic glowing orbs are usually nearby, and what little wildlife I can still recognize around here steers well clear. It steers well clear. I didn't think it was that bad. For all intents and purposes, it wasn't. Alright, what else do I need here? Got a hand vac, but actually those things wear down slow. I think my headlights have stopped inexplicably flickering for no apparent reason. What about the rest of the quirks? Oh, I wish I knew. I guess I'll just have to deduce it by the number of times it's triggered. It seems to be a very reliable way. Wait, do I have a spare scrapper? No, I don't. I'm going to need one. I'm almost positive I'm going to need one. So, oh, and that spare fuel tank, which I keep forgetting to build. Alright. Spare scrapper. Where is the large fuel tank? I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Large fuel can. Okay. It's not terrible. I'm going to put the Liberator in here because, well, in all honesty, it's more of an emergency tool than anything else. Scrapper there. Got a spare pry bar. A relatable flare. I need a relatable flare. Closest thing I've got to a flashlight. would I find one of those? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Alright. What else is in this hideaway, by the way? Anything? Anything I could scan at all? Nope, just the hard drive. Which honestly I'm a little conflicted about sending. Where's Oppie gonna say when she finds out how I swiped it? Oh, there's a fax machine again. Hang on. Oh god, Jim, I think I know what they are. I think they used to be raccoons. They're inside the house, Jim. They're inside the house. Whatever. So, well, look at this. It looks like there are highways into the mid-zone, and one of those highways is the one where you continue the storyline. There's only one... Actually, no, come to think of it, there's a lot of highways into the mid-zone. You know what I ought to do? I ought to get to one of these highways in the mid-zone, and now that I'm glad I've got a way through the wall. I mean, I was afraid that I'd have to go all the way to G2, and, oh, look at this, it's dark. I mean, we're talking blind as a bat here. Hopefully it's not always going to be blind as a bat, you know. I'd also like to go to here, but, well, it's blocked off. And here, also, I have to drive through that. And there's this place. Well, Tobias's plan is going to have to wait. I mean, D2 is a no-go zone. But this is a highway. And I'd rather unlock those first. I mean, it's blind. Wait a minute. I think the anchors here are also well, I'm not going to say obfuscated. I'm going to say blocked off. So, you know what I ought to do, just for the sake of getting the anchor? I'm going to take a longer route, I think, to E5 and E2. What are they like? Oh, well, E2 is always like that. It isn't it? It's a rabbit warren, and yeah, I'll do that because, well, unless I pass some anchors, let's face it, right now there aren't any. For all intents and purposes, there aren't any. There's a bunch of new stuff here, and I don't recognize it. I guess I'm going to have to get used to all that all over again. Oh, wait. There's abductors, shakers, and gas stations, and 3 things that I don't recognize, plus a benign whatever it is that I don't recognize. Well, what can I say? The mid-zone is new. It's very new. Isn't brand new. I honestly thought I'd have to drive all the way through the wall again. I could not be gladder than I am that I don't have to do that anymore. Stable anchors are low in both of these locations. Well, I just hope I can get enough of them